Hi, my name is Misty Siadak. I'm a graduate candidate for Arkansas State University Special Education Program. For my instructional plan project, I chose the topic, how can we help others? Should you help others? My goal of the lesson was should you and how can you help others? How do you know when others need help? Can you tell if someone needs help by looking at their face? I would begin my lesson by making funny faces at my students. I would make happy faces, sad faces. I would go through all the different faces that I could think of in order to kind of break the ice with my students. After my students laughed and participated, we would go through making the funny faces again. As I make a funny face, the students would be instructed to repeat after me in kind of an echolalia moment to repeat what the face is. We would go through that process of making funny faces, naming the funny faces, and that would be our opening portion of the lesson. We would then move into where the teacher would create a graphic organizer on the board. The statement for the graphic organizer would be, tell me something that makes you angry, nervous, anxious, or sad. As the students responded, the teacher would write the answers on the board. Then, nothing would be done with that graphic organizer until later in the lesson. After the graphic organizer is finished, the teacher assistant would read the book, Even Superheroes Have Bad Days, by Shelley Becker.
Even Superheroes Have Bad Days, by Shelley Becker, illustrated by Ida Caban. When superheroes don't get their way, when they're sad, when they're mad, when they have a bad day, they could use superpowers to kick, punch, and pound. They could shriek. They could screech with an ear-piercing sound. They could
As the teacher assistant reads the book, the teacher would walk the room and would guide students to stay on task as needed. The teacher would also ask questions to reinforce comprehension of the story. After the story was read, the teacher would display a superhero PowerPoint on the board. The superhero PowerPoint would draw on the students' prior understanding and knowledge of superheroes. We would discuss characteristics of each superhero. We would discuss what makes them a superhero, what is their superhero power. What do we like about these superheroes? Do these superheroes help others? If so, how do they help others? How do they help people in need? We will discuss how we can help others, just like these superheroes help people in need. After our PowerPoint is finished, we would now go back to our graphic organizer. And we would discuss those things that made us angry, anxious, nervous, or sad. And we would discuss how these issues, or discuss superpowers that could help solve these issues, help solve these things that make us angry, nervous, or sad. Then, the teacher would display this on the whiteboard. This is a picture of people that are being nice to one another and that are being helpful in a cafeteria setting. One by one, students would come to the board. They would circle things that are good, that are positive, where people are helping or where people are being helped. Then we would discuss, is this individual happy, sad, angry? What are the emotions of these people? And so the student would circle the positive things in this picture. The occupational therapist would be there to assist the students in circling and drawing circles on the board. the drawing on the board is a positive interaction for these students in that it helps build arm strength for the ones that may have dexterity problems. After we finish this, we would move on to our formal assessment. Our formal assessment sheet again works on those occupational skills of where we are going to cut out these emojis, and then they will glue and paste. Will glue these emojis onto the correct square. So these emotions that we've talked about throughout the entire lesson: happy, sad, angry, scared. So which emoji coincides with these words? So assistance will be needed by the teacher and the assistant and occupational therapist, the adults in the room, to help the students fill out this sheet. And this is our formal assessment for this lesson. As time permits, each male and each female will receive a blank superhero so that they could design themselves to be a superhero. And then they will be able to create any power, make their superhero have any power that they would like to have. And then we would work on verbally explaining and verbally expressing ourselves about what makes our superhero great and why we would want that superhero power. Now, how will this lesson benefit and impact the student learners? Students with cognitive delays tend to have issues reading facial features. This lesson focuses on helping students understand the feelings of others. How will I, the candidate, use this data from this lesson's assessment to drive future learning experiences and assessments for the student learner? I don't have much experience when it comes to creating lesson plans for students with moderate and profound disabilities. I'm a general education teacher, so my experience with these students with severe disabilities is very limited. This lesson will help guide myself in learning how to create lesson plans for students with moderate and profound disabilities. Thank you.